Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Tawasaw Ramadan series, 𝗔𝗯صِرَاط Al-Mustaqeem. We finished the first station, which gave us our purpose: to know Allah, to love Allah, to worship Allah, and to obey Allah. Most believers think that job is done and mission accomplished when we do that, but that's not the case. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had set up for us goals to meet and to fulfill in this world, and He created us to establish these goals. That's our mission and our job in this world. And the first one is to establish justice. You see, Allah explains to us in the Quran that the whole universe was established on justice. And without justice, humanity will fail. It restores my faith in humanity when I see people from around the world, from all the nations, across cultures and languages, they go out and protest for Palestine and for the Palestinian people. That shows that the fitrah, the pure innate nature that Allah put in people, is still alive. This world is a test for us, and it's a challenge. And for the believers, the first and biggest challenge that Allah gave us is to establish justice. In an ayah in Al-Quran Al-Kareem, Allah put 3 out of the 4 goals in one line. إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْمُرُ بِالْعَدْلِ وَالْإِحْسَانِ وَإِيتَاءِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى. Allah commands. And this style, Allah commands, this expression has been only used 2 times in the Quran, and both times they came with the topic of justice. Allah commands that you establish justice and you establish excellence. And here it means giving and goodness, to establish goodness on earth and to be good to your kinship, which refers to one of the colors of mercy. And this will help us to define our journey, especially the goals. When it comes to justice, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in 2 ayat of the Quran used 2 expressions interchangeably. Allah commands you, believer, and calls you, the believers, to stand up for Allah and be witnesses for justice. The other way, Allah is asking you, to believers, to stand up for justice and be witnesses for Allah. Switch the word Allah and standing up for justice with the expression. Why is that very important? Because one of the names of Allah is Al-Adl, the just one, the fair one. Al-Muqsit, the one who's fair. And these 2 words, Al-Adl and Al-Qist, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Himself is Al-Adl and Al-Muqsit, if they are mentioned in one sentence, that means they have 2 different meanings. If they are used in separate sentences, that means they have the same meaning. What are the 2 meanings? Adl refers to justice, and justice here means equality. You give everyone the same portion. For example, all people shall be treated equally under the law. That's called justice. But fairness, it means you give more to the one who deserves it, and you give more to the one who needs it. For example, we put ramps for people with wheelchairs. That's giving more. Yeah, we give them more because they need it. And these 2 meanings, justice and fairness, are all over the Quran. And Allah asks of us to be strong believers and to stand up for justice. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is nothing that He despises more than injustice, which we call aggression and oppression. So many ayat in the Quran forbids us from being unfair and unjust and from oppressing others. Actually, in the 2 ayat that I mentioned, one of them Allah said, stand up for justice, be witnesses for God, and don't let the hatred of some people in your heart, don't make you treat them unjustly and unfairly. Separate your feelings from justice and fairness. In the 2nd verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I expect you to stand up for justice, even if it's against yourself. If you did something wrong, you should say, I was unfair, I was unjust. Or even if you have to witness against your own parents, or even if you have to witness against your relatives, or someone who's rich or poor, you don't care. When it comes to fairness and justice, it's one standard with everyone. In the Quran, Allah starts with asking us by not oppressing ourselves. How does someone oppress themselves? when they walk away from the truth to falsehood and to darkness. And then Allah asks of us not to oppress the closest to us, your spouse, your children, your brothers and sisters, and sometimes your parents. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks of us to stop ourselves when we see ourselves transgressing, and to remind ourselves that we're not in control, we're not the powerful, we're not the ultimate controller of this world, but to remind ourselves of our faith that Allah is watching above us, and that there is a day of judgment, and that the story is not over yet, and that we will be judged for every action and word that we take. If it is good, we will be rewarded good, and if it's evil, we will be punished for it. That faith in the day of judgment works like a policeman inside the believer that stops him from transgressing and oppressing others. My dear brothers and sisters, what we see in the world today requires us, the believers, to stand up together for justice. Subhanallah, always the oppressor cries foul and plays the role of the victim. And he cannot see himself that the whole world can see that they are unfair and unjust and oppressors and aggressors. But then they say, we are the victims and we have the right to defend ourselves. The world has heard so much of this. And bi'idhnillah, insha'Allah, when the believers come together, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless their efforts, and they will be able to establish justice and fairness to the best of their ability. May Allah Azza wa Jal save us from shaitan, from oppressing ourselves or oppressing others. May Allah make us from the carriers of the torch of justice. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen.